1059 The Region, covering the most important stories of all, yours.
Belinda Marchese is the Executive Director of Hospice Vaughan, also a very good friend to all of us here at the radio station. Welcome back to the feed, Belinda.
Thank you so much, Tina. It's great to connect and hear your voice. It's definitely been quite a year, hasn't it?
It certainly has. So before we explore the opening of the new location, briefly remind our listeners about the services of Hospice Vaughan and what it provides.
Absolutely. Hospice care is about kindness and compassion. It's about taking care of one another in our communities to ensure, as we're dealing with our declining health issues, that we have the support that we need. It's very practical. At the end of the day, most of us want to stay and remain at home with our loved ones. We want to deal with our health concerns, and we just want to be surrounded by the people that we love and ensure that we have the best quality and comforting environment as possible in the community. So Hospice Vaughan has been a community program for 26 years, starting in 1995, with the kindness and compassion of just local citizens taking care of one another. And here we are 26 years later with a very robust community program, caregiver support, children's support program, and a huge grief and bereavement and counseling program to ensure that we take care of the person who's ill, the family, and that we're here for the aftercare after someone dies, because it's emotional and it's hard.
It certainly is, and so many need the support for sure. Tell us about the new site now and why the need to move and expand.
Absolutely. It's really what I call a dream coming true. It's been a story that's been reflective of the community need. We know that the healthcare system really needs a lot of support. We know that people at their end of life and their families need a lot of care and comfort. And we have been investing the heart and soul of our community for probably close to a decade to say that we need hospice end-of-life care beds in Vaughan. And over the last 4 or 5 years, very active engagement to raise dollars to support the capital and the building and to work with our health and community partners because the community was telling us what they needed. And while the care at home is great and many people will be able to stay at home until the very end, for others that's not possible. And there's just been a gap. And, you know, having now the Vaughan community grow and having our first ever hospital, the Cortellucci Vaughan Hospital, and now having our first facility, which will include 10 residential hospice beds, community programs, counseling, and the future development of what we hope to be leaders in palliative care with various partners, brings us to today. And the Islington and Rutherford location has been a dream by so many people, from the early dreamers, from people that acquired partnership opportunities with Toronto Regional Conservation Land to provide us close to 3 acres of land here at Islington and Rutherford to build a 26,000 square foot beautiful building, which we hope will provide much care and compassion. And now we moved in just shy of 2 weeks ago, if you can imagine, Tina, and the building is almost ready. The community programs have moved in, the administrative team, the healthcare team has been hired. They're here right as we speak. And we are going to be opening up the end-of-life care healthcare portion of Hospice Vaughan in our new facility named the Mario and Nick Cortellucci Hospice Palliative Care Center of Excellence in just a couple of weeks. I really just simply have no words. It's amazing.
That is amazing and good news indeed. How is the community responding?
Well, you know, it's been an interesting story. I have to say the last 15 months, COVID has just rocked everyone's world. And dying and death is much more talked about than it was before. Even though, you know, many people die from age and disease, and it's challenging and it's emotional, COVID has made it really difficult. A lot of people were finding it really difficult to care for people at home or have people in other care settings because they couldn't see them. And really the community has been responding by, they're so overwhelmed from the COVID deaths and the non-COVID deaths, and dealing with the inability to grieve together and have those rituals to kind of help ground and build what we would normally be able to do in normal times. And at the same point, you also have community members and leaders to say, we're here for each other and let's build that resiliency. We're going to get there. And knowing that we've moved into the building now and trying to plan for the opening for the service side, what they're saying is, thank God you're here. Because literally, we have people calling for months and years, do you have beds? Can we bring our loved ones? We now have a wait list already. Our health and community partners are so eager to continue the strong working relationships that we've had for so long. And they're just saying, we really want our loved ones to have end-of-life, compassionate and dignified care. And I just can't wait to open our doors for the community, for the volunteers, and most of all, for those that we serve. And it's been a long, hard road, but we're getting there together. And we really know that together we can do much more to support our community.
You mentioned COVID. I'm assuming it has also affected or changed how you work?
Oh, huge. Technology changes, keeping people safe, security pieces just to make sure that staff and volunteers, even the challenges in the building construction and getting us to the stage and supply chain issues and costs, it's been a really big challenge for us. We're still working that out because at the end of the day, what drives us is the care. COVID is real and it is here. It has affected many of us and it's also affected huge amounts of people in the community. And one of the areas that we've really seen a huge growth is just in the impact on our counseling and our bereavement services. We've had the school boards calling, we've had victim services and police calling. The trauma of loss already is difficult and the healing is difficult, and the support that we would normally have been very challenging. So there's all those practical things, plus we've had to pivot really quickly to change things in the building and to even make decisions on how to protect the environment when people come for care here. So we're still working out those pieces, and quality and safety is number one. I can't stress that enough. And we are ready. We've stocked up on personal protective equipment. We are ensuring that we're on top of the public health and the Ministry of Health guidelines. The staff are being trained. The volunteers are being trained. We're making solid decisions to minimize the risk. It's making necessary investments more for staffing roles until we can get volunteers back in here and get through this pandemic. And it's a journey. It's a long journey, but we're getting there.
It sure is. How can listeners learn more or donate to the good work at the hospice?
That's a really great point. We count on our community support. People need to know about us. People need to help us deliver the support, and we need definitely the donation dollars because we're less than 50% funded by the government, and people don't often know that. And we also charge nothing for our services. So hospicevaughan.com is our website, and our phone number is 905-850-6266. Reach out to us at info@hospicevaughan.com if you have any questions or you need to make a connection with us. Our team is really devoted and working day and night, 7 days a week, and we really want to continue to serve our community, and we really appreciate the incredible kindness and generosity so far. And we know together we will meet the needs of our community here in Vaughan. And I just really want to thank you, Tina, 1059, all of our supporters, our donors, our friends, our partners. We will get through COVID, and we will continue to serve, and we will take good care of ourselves and one another, because that's, at the end of the day, the most important thing.
Belinda Marchese is the Executive Director of Hospice Vaughan. Thank you once again for being here.
Thank you, too. Take care, everyone.
Access off air using the TuneIn app or by asking your smart speaker. Play 1059 The Region.